Good morning, everyone. It's Patrick Lovell, Truth Bombing, on Saturday morning, April 15th, 2023, at approximately 9:50 a.m. my time. I'd like to thank all the newcomers who invested yesterday. I'm very inspired. I'm incredibly inspired. I'm incredibly grateful by your confidence. We're now up to 51 early adopters to save our country and to change the world. So now all we have to do is find 1,249 Crusaders for Justice, and we have to do that within the next 2 weeks, hopefully by April 30th. And if we accomplish that, we'll be on first base. Nothing like swinging for the fences, my friends. Look, I've been interested recently in a lot of cool clips that I have discovered of Marianne Williamson. I think she's delivering stirring introspections of who we are, and she's wrapping it into a vision, which I presume is her candidacy for the 2024 presidential election. And while as stirring as her framing is, I regard her as what I think maybe many of you might be like. You're close to understanding the problem, but she's searching to identify what is, and like so many, it's like seeing a car stuck on the side of the road and commenting that it's not working. Right. But what part of it isn't working? Why isn't the system working? That's where I come in. My name is Patrick Lovell. I'm a producer and a muckraker, and I've been on a 13-year odyssey desperately trying to understand what our country has become. As many plainly see, in the never-ending immense universe of overwhelming information, we are an absolute train wreck, my friends. We are a carnage of corruption, instability, and insanity, leading us to somewhere between the edge of a failed state and a banana republic with nukes. We are so far removed from the best of ourselves, and those of us who champion integrity, dignity, and liberty and justice for all must rally together in a monumental way, or more suffering is inevitable. And the end of our great experiment may very well be at hand. I haven't recognized our country for the past 20 years, but it wasn't until the collapse of the 2008 great financial crisis that I was forced to rewire my mind. As I began to ask questions, I couldn't resolve those questions through the mainstream media's deception racket. I had to get the answers for myself. The way I always framed my journey was, the greatest trick the devil ever played was to convince the world he didn't exist. I knew they were pissing on my head, telling me it was rain. Today, after a seemingly never-ending pathway of discovery, I found all of the answers I was seeking and then some. Now, many of you are asking the same questions that I was when I began my journey 13 years ago. In just the past 2 weeks, we've been deluged with scandal after rotting scandal. And what do they tell us when viewed as a whole? Exactly what I've been preaching this whole time, my friends. Corruption births fascism. How can a nation of, for, and by the people, the greatest democracy in history, be a nation of absolute chaos, uncertainty, absurdity, and incomprehensible betrayal? Like any system, we must first understand what's broken to fix it. Many great empires have risen and fallen throughout history. We may be on the precipice of our great experiment failing. I'm on a mission to save ourselves and possibly the world by creating a tidal wave populist movement to purge corruption. I'm extending my hand to you. Please join me, join us, because everything is literally on the line. In some of my favorite television series, the corruption has been portrayed as the wheel or the army of the dead in Game of Thrones. It's the Borg in The Matrix. It's Mobley in Peaky Blinders. And it's the Upside Down in Stranger Things. It's Walter White's reality in Breaking Bad. Just in the past 2 weeks, we've been glued to the show trial of Trump, indicted on 34 felony counts, including falsifying business records and hush money payments to a porn star. And there's so much more to come. We saw an African Supreme Court justice on the take from a billionaire white supremacist even though they're saying that he might not be, but he just happens to have a signed copy of Mein Kampf. We saw a National Guard airman release classified documents to an online gaming group of like-minded dudes who enjoy war games and, of course, racist and anti-Semitic memes. We saw Jeffrey Epstein's collusion tied to Chase, the largest bank in the United States. And of course, we saw the ongoing madness of deranged lunatics using AR-15s to once again murder children, while Republicans champion right to life by banning mifepristone, while ignoring the will of the people because the money of the gun lobby showers corruption from the blood of the innocent on the hyenas of Griftopia. We saw Fox News outed for what we all know it is, a giant grift factory of lies and monumental deception, while of course snickering about its audience and their beloved Trump, who is the baseline of their ratings. It's also very telling when you consider the state of journalism in this country that we had to wait until the details of a lawsuit, and a corporate lawsuit at that, became clear before they reported on it. What more evidence do you need? Pull the lens back further and we see bank runs caused by billionaires that led to the entire power of government leaping into action to backstop bailouts to billionaires while saying these weren't bailouts, which is the point of everything. My friends, we have created a corporate fascist state undergirded by a criminal syndicate using socialism to guarantee, with the full faith and credit of the United States, a mafiocracy that is now fueling fascism. Said another way, a vast majority of you are being played for suckers in the entire experiment of separation of powers and the integrity of law in order to form a more perfect union has been raped and pillaged beyond recognition. This is a facade to keep you down and stupid. I'm not expendable. Chances are you're not either. Look, I've been after this a long time. My friends, I'm tired. I'm beat down. I feel like giving up, but I'm holding the line because I have the information that can literally take this system down if you join me and those that already have. The only parallels between democracy and capitalism is free choice. I know we're all overwhelmed with information and distraction, but I believe that if you, me, and everyone you see who isn't a Nazi, who believes in dignity, integrity, liberty, and sustainability, that we can purge tyranny and erect a world of possibility, and I believe that is our collective destiny. But to get there, I need to convince 1,300 of you, or more accurately, 1,249 of you, to invest $13 in this movement to purge corruption. So what's in it for you? Well, items to further spread the message, a t-shirt and a bumper sticker, but beyond the items that can come is our collective future, is what we are collectively investing in. Look, it's this simple. We have erected a new feudalism using theft to entrench its power. In 2008, the global economy seized up because of this insane criminality. The crime was so epic, no one revealed it until we figured it out and we served it up to you. We landed in front of the world right as the insurrection was underway. We were shadow banned from the world. My gut tells me BlackRock had a heavy hand in our demise. It would certainly make sense given what we now know, that billionaires grift trillions while buying everything that can hold them to account. We were able to get our work out there, and you can check it out at www.thecon.tv. Watching The Con will give you a complete picture of how our financial system buried the world and got away with it. But it's even worse because they never stopped burying everything the United States is supposed to be while giving themselves north of $50 trillion since 2009 to a tiny segment of the population that has all of the control. Given our problems, do you think that money could be better spent? Not only did I deliver The Con, but I also produced a podcast called The New Untouchables, and I probably have north of 1,000 hours of information on Patrick Level Truth Bombs The Con on both TikTok and YouTube. What I've invested in this movement is $4.5 million to aggregate and deliver all of this information, plus tens of thousands of hours putting it all together, plus thousands of hours trying to get the attention of millions of you out there that need to come to grips with the truth to overwhelm the madness of lies and the sea of deception that has overwhelmed us. As beat down as I am, I'm damned to let the truth have no value. In fact, it's the only thing that has value. Jon Snow said, when enough people make false promises, words stop meaning anything. Then there are no more answers, only better and better lies. Eleven from Stranger Things said, friends don't lie to each other. What is the truth? The truth is tens of millions of people were set up in a global Ponzi scheme that the powers that be pulled the ultimate rug out from under millions that were destroyed and bulldozed into oblivion, while the engineers of disaster got away with the crime. They looted the Fed for $29 trillion in 2009 and another $30 trillion since. Within this scheme, they gave free money to the richest, cut their taxes, then hyperinflated their assets and stocks, and literally purchased their assets. Assets they hyperinflated. This was called QE, or quantitative easing. In addition, they used the courts to allow tens of millions of documentation fraud closures to illegally foreclose on millions of people. What we're experiencing now is both a sideshow and a consequence of everything that came before, but that no one understands. It's like a smash and grab technique of the imperialist empires of yesteryear. Only this version did it in the shadows, corrupting the system of law enforcement to serve themselves. That's called aristocracy. Some call it techno-feudalism, or oligarchs, or any number of different attempts to frame it. It's simply theft by the corrupt, and we the people have allowed it because the media serves it. We are divided into different camps. They turn up the volume on culture wars so they remain ensconced and entrenched and enriched at our expense. The political leaders have either sold us out or kept quiet. What we now know, more than at any other time in the past 2 decades, is that billionaires, multinationals, and foreign entities like Saudi have bought our government, the media, and the law, and they're all working against us, and they are silencing us through technology. I had enough a long time ago, but what about you? Do you want to live in a train wreck society that will continue to destroy everything that we stand for, that previous generations sacrificed for us to have? Will you stand and be counted? Look, we need to get this engine running, my friends, and the platform built. To do that, I'm seeking 1,300 of you, again, 1,249 of you from this point forward, to invest $13 and to bring 13 other individuals to this movement by April 30th. You will receive a t-shirt and a bumper sticker with one of our many hashtags on it so you can help spread the word. We haven't worked out the details about how that's going to work, but I promise you we will. I will use the first proceeds to make our organization legitimate by designating it a 501c4 or C3. We will set up a website and I will deliver a podcast that continues to deliver mind-numbing revelations that the entire system of mainstream media has kept hidden from you for the past 13 years. The idea is to educate you and the likes of Marianne Williamson of the details from the top people in our country that know this stuff inside and out, and we have the evidence. This isn't some sort of theory. This isn't sort of hypothecation. This is actually gumshoeing, hardcore investigative journalism that revealed these answers that the entire system has hidden from you because they're all being paid by the system of corruption. As we gain momentum, my ultimate objective is to create a national barnstorming revival tour where I produce a massive multimedia demonstration of everything that I have and that's going on. For those of you from XGen, think of it as Live Aid to purge corruption. We will traverse this entire country. We will get to DC, culminating in a massive nationwide protest that will take place under the gaze of Abraham Lincoln, who proved during his time that a nation of, by, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. We will be there proving our generation's commitment to those ends, to Jefferson and MLK and the rest of the patriots who sacrificed their lives for liberty and justice for all, that we too stand for liberty and justice for all, and we will never waver from being a nation of, by, and for the people, and it shall not perish from the earth on our watch. The candle of hope is waning, but I know you're out there. I know that there are patriots who understand what's at stake. My ultimate objective is to rally 13 million people to the cause. If and when we do that, we will have a war chest of $169 million that we can build into a new party to deliver what both the Democrats and the Republicans have failed to do for decades while perpetually betraying us as they feed from the trough of corruption. We have to move now. There is no time left. Please, reach into your pocket and invest $13 today to become part of the monumental movement to change history, because everything is on the line. My friends, failure is not an option. Rise, roar, revolt. Onwards and upwards.